Hello, I'm Ryson Sinek, and today is Halloween. Today we're going to be looking at Beast Boxing Turbo, where a woman dresses up as I'm going to say goblin. That's Halloween enough, right? So, Beast Boxing Turbo. It's a game where you box beasts. Well, I guess it's more sporting than that. Developed and produced by Good Hustle Studios, who have made other games such as Skybox for iOS, Yum Num's Galaxy for the iPad, and Beast Boxing 3D. Yeah, so this is a phone game port and upgrade. Now don't just jump to conclusions. Not all phone ports are terrible. This one carries over pretty well. And the original game is well made enough that we aren't getting a bad base to build from. You play as Char, a human living in Beast Hala, which I can only assume is some sort of monster haven. In Beast Hala, humans are second-class citizens and unable to participate in the big sporting event that is Beast Boxing. Char wants to participate for her own reasons, like that it's her lifelong dream, or that she wants to bring humanity out of the slums. You know, small stuff really. So now she has to box her way to the top of various leagues to be the champ of Beast Boxing. The most interesting part of the story is the cast of characters. From the pigman who takes on the job of your coach, to the skeleton who's obsessed with fitness. There's also an alien, a social media celebrity Cyclops Naga, and a turkey man. Okay. The interaction is mostly regulated to pre-fight and post-fight banner. And punching! Let's look at the actual meat of the game. Boxing. It's good arcade-style boxing. Though, the controls are kind of odd. Basic unedited controls are left and right arrows to move, down arrow to block, and Z and X for left and right punch respectively. There's also an uppercut command done by holding the up arrow and using either punch, and a hook command done by moving left and punching right, or moving right and punching left. The right and left punches have different qualities, with the right punch hitting harder and the left punch being faster. For the gamepad option, left stick controls movement, blocking, and uppercuts, like the arrow keys, with left trigger being left punch and right trigger being right punch. My control suggestion is this. For keyboard, change block to spacebar. For the gamepad, change movement to the D-pad. Change punches to the bumpers, and block to the lower face button. You may also want to change uppercut and special to a face button, but special is only used in endless mode. I mostly suggest bumpers because I use a PS3 controller, and the triggers are kinda bouncy. The boxing itself has a good arcade feel, which is accentuated nicely by the cast. There's a slight difference in each of the fighters. Different behaviors, damage, tells, speed, and dodge tendencies. While the change-up isn't major, it does keep the fights from feeling too repetitive. There is also an RPG element to the main story. With each match you get money, which you can use to either upgrade your stats directly, or by purchasing equipment. Beast Boxing regulations apparently allow for things like body armor and shoulder spikes. Even with the RPG elements, this game can be a challenge. Not a major one, but a decent challenge without feeling unfair. The bar raises steadily without jumping around, and each fight feels like you have to work a little harder for it than the previous fight. However, the AI does not deal with all situations very well, and this can be abused to make the game way easier and way more boring. There are also extras like New Game Plus, which make the opponents faster and hit harder. But you get to keep your upgrades. And an arcade mode, where you fight without upgrades against an endless string of opponents, but with the ability to heal about 25% of your health occasionally. But this game is colorful in all the best ways. The characters have good use of colors and varied looks. Of the original cast of 9, there is one fighter that is just a reskin, but for the most part the two act differently enough that they at least feel like different characters. Now I said the original cast. With the upgrade to Beast Boxing Turbo, Good Hustle added a new section. So the first fighter of the section is just the very first boxer you fought with a Santa beard and hat. And the second one is the same pigman, just recolored. He looks awful. I can't exactly see why. Maybe it's my inexperience with 3D models. One sec. I need to make a phone call. Hello. Hey, so I'm gonna send you something. Look at the way this character moves. It's just like there's something really wrong with this. Uh-huh. Okay, thanks. So, here's what the problem is. The animations are being swapped. The animation data that keeps track of the model's bones on a model with different proportions causes the mesh to get distorted, causing them to move strangely and act kind of weird. And then there's the turkey. Yeah, the extra part is entirely holiday themed, with Christmas, Halloween, and Thanksgiving themed to the 3 fights. Also, there's this weird visual glitch that appears when pausing the game. You need to make sure that your draw properly cleans up, because this can get ridiculous. Now let's look at the good, the bad, the strange, and the bland. The good is the gameplay. The arcade boxing works well and is entertaining. Even with the problems that it has, the game was a lot of fun to play and provided a decent challenge that was fun to overcome. The bad is the PC added part. The third league is just awful. The fights are just copies with small changes. The background is boring. The final fight is weird and doesn't provide a challenge. And probably worst of all is it brings the game's forward momentum to a grinding halt. It just feels like it was shoehorned in because they needed something more when porting the game. Why not add a league to the end instead of in the middle like this? The strange is the controls. While you can remap most of the controls, the hook can't be remapped, leading to a kind of awkward hook command. While I understand the use of movement commands in fighting games, it seems out of place here, and kind of takes away from your sense of control. It makes moving and jabbing something you can only do when going a certain direction. The bland is the background for part 3, which I already went over, so I can just... Okay, fine. Actually, it's the minimal voice clips for characters. While it made sense in the phone game with limited space, adding a voiced victory or loss quote from the characters would have been cool and given the characters a little more life. While the main character probably would have needed a few, the other fighters could have gotten away with 2 victory quotes and 2 loss quotes. To sum this up, Beastboxing Turbo is a fun action game that will take up a few hours because of the difficulty more than the length of the actual game. While I enjoyed the length, I could see some other people getting annoyed with the game and not liking it, but there is a New Game Plus feature. I would recommend this game, and we'll probably come back in the future to play through New Game Plus. Beastboxing Turbo is available on Steam and Desura for $4.99. Till next time, I'm Ryson Sinek, and I hope not to get punched in the face.